What is going on, you guys? Bashtian here, and today I'm gonna go ahead and come at you guys with the Before You Buy back again with this series. Really excited to go ahead and I guess bring you the series back. It's the release of a new set, release of new archetypes are coming out. I already did one for the Sun Avalon. You may have seen my Starry Knight / Holy Knight deck profile yesterday, so I've been playing with this deck a little bit more, and I have two episodes I want to go ahead and show you guys. More or less the pros and cons of the deck, what this deck can do well, what this deck maybe needs a little bit of help doing, and along the way I'm going to be analyzing what the three pros and 3 cons are for the deck, as I usually do. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off with the pros. First pro I want to go ahead and talk about is that this deck is actually very consistent, I personally believe. The deck overall has anywhere from 10 to 12 real starter cards that are going to be able to go ahead and help you either get the full combo, which is activate your get a way to summon out the dragon and search the dragon. That's really all you need. It's not nothing crazy. And if I'm thinking about it that way, if you include the trap card in there, you're probably reaching anywhere from 15 to 16 starters in your deck to go ahead and be able to just summon out the dragon and just have that main interruption. That's pretty much what this deck is revolving around doing, is to limit your opponent's summons to 1, and then to go ahead and be able to go ahead and pop whatever that one summon is with the dragon on summon. So that's really consistent as well. We play cards like Prosperity as well to go ahead and help you have that consistency also. That Prosperity really is the ideal card for this deck, just because you need to dig for specific cards in your deck. Having multiple cards in your deck is not really going to do you any good unless you're able to go ahead and summon out the dragon and prevent your opponent from summoning. Cards like Summon Limit are amazing in this deck, which kind of flows into the second pro I want to go ahead and talk about, which is just the overall versatility of this deck is absolutely insane. It's an absolutely great control deck. It's a great control deck personally, I believe. So not allowing your opponent to summon anything but light monsters by being able to play the barrier statue. And the reason I want to go ahead and this is the first replay I want to go ahead and show you guys. So I'll go ahead and let him play for a little bit. So I believe I go first. I summon my Rael trying to search. He ashes it. It's perfectly fine. That's why we activate Prosperity. Then we can dig through. Awesome. We go ahead and get Ties to the Brethren, activate it, and from then we are solid, good to go. We already have a way to special summon it, right? So let me see. Let's pause right here. So Astal is going to be the main way you're going to be summoning it in this scenario. Now I could have tried to search the trap card potentially if he hadn't ashed me. But it is what it is. I did search the Holy Knight Flammel, which is a little bit underrated in my personal opinion, just because with Flammel, when your opponent attacks you directly, you can discard the special summon the dragon from your hand. Then when the dragon is summoned, you can go ahead and pop a card your opponent controls. So it lets you pop whatever monster is attacking you. So it does have that form of interruption as well. Not overly explosive, but it is a good backup play in the event that for some reason the Holy Knight Astal does not survive. So I want to go ahead and make sure that was also an option. So again, that versatility to allow you to play floodgates in this type of floodgates, like Various Touches of Heaven, Summon Limit, are just the main ones that come to mind when I think of this deck. Of course, you can play with other cards like I believe it's Rivalry of the Warlords. Or goes in match, whichever one is the attribute one. You don't want to play the one with the types, just because you are summoning a dragon next to a bunch of fairies. So unless you're gonna play without the dragon, but that's on you entirely. We're gonna go ahead and keep it playing, guys. I want you guys to go ahead and see, playing through the instructions, what this deck can really do. Now I'm not going up against just a thing right now. But it lets you go ahead and what the interaction of this deck would be. So let's talk about he summons Omega, discard Flamwell, summon the dragon, and because he has to redeclare an attack because the number of monsters on the field has changed. Great, so I go ahead and pop the monster, amazing, and then let's go ahead and put it back. So the Graveyard effect is really cool as well. It has that recursion, and it has a cool dynamic, the deck overall. It really does. Let's go ahead and just stick to the pros for right now. The next pro I want to go ahead and talk about is that the trap itself that allows you to summon Let me go ahead and exit out of here for just a second. The trap itself that allows you to summon out a dragon is so simple but so effective. Essentially what you want to do with the Holy Knight Advent, or the Starry Knight Advent I believe it's going to be called, in the TCG, is you summon the dragon during your opponent's turn, and during your turn during main phase 2, that's when you go ahead and bring it back after you've already dealt your damage. Lets you maximize the opportunity, it lets you maximize your overall potential with the dragon, with the trap card overall. And the deck can also play through interruption. You have so many cards that allow you to go ahead and just combo off, and I keep doing air quotes because I don't really consider it a combo. You're activating Ties of the Brethren with a fairy monster. You summon other fairies. It's not very combo centered, I want to say, but it can play through multiple hand traps. It's we even play through Ash very easily, and we're still able to go ahead and have a pretty menacing board, I want to say. Not the most threatening, but it is able to have that. So I think that's as many cons as the deck can really have. I mean, that's as many pros as the deck can really have. And I'm really struggling with this because as much as I like the control aspect of it, I just feel like it's missing something to make it either stronger. It just seems like a bit of a glass cannon strategy. So essentially, if you're unable to summon out the dragon to pop, your opponent can very easily get around this. I mean, essentially, the strategy lives and dies by the dragon being able to summon and pop your opponent's only summon. If they can get around your barrier statue, then you're essentially done for. So it is very glass cannon, I want to say. The deck doesn't really account for things like back row, but you also don't want to fill this whole deck with back row hate, because big weakness of this deck also, which is my second con, is that this is strictly going first deck. Going second, you're gonna have a very hard time. I do play Nibiru in the deck and Forbidden Droplet for that specific scenario in case I am going second. I am able to have some type of interruption, but realistically, those are just 6 cards out of a 40 card deck, so I'm not really counting on those. I do play Imperm as well, but Imperm isn't like the strongest thing currently. Imperm is basically there because your objective is to stop your only normal summon of the deck. So it's strictly going first deck. If you can build this as a going second build, I would highly recommend it. I believe it messes with the psyche of the one you're going up against as well. But I think the strongest version would be going first, playing cards like the Summon Limit in here as well. I think this card is way too broken not to play in this deck, and essentially this deck doesn't have any negations as far as the deck itself. Now, of course, I can go ahead and play, some extra deck monsters that go ahead and give me negations, which is going to be great. I actually don't have any of my extra deck, but I can play cards that give me negations, but essentially the deck itself doesn't do that enough for me. The reason why I say it as a con is because essentially if I'm going to be playing a barrier statue turbo turn 1 deck, there are other options that I can go ahead and play that would do that more effectively. If I'm gonna play a floodgate deck, then True Draco is probably gonna be the best option still currently with our format. Prank is trying to do his little thing with playing there can only be one, but I'm pretty sure True Draco can play that, lose 1 turn. Monarchs erupt, skill drain, macrocosmo. So the things that this deck does well, other decks do better, and that's my main issue with it, is that popping cards on your opponent's board, of course, Zodiac's gonna do a million times better. Stunning your opponent with Floodgates, True Draco is the deck that immediately comes to mind when you think of Floodgates. If you're gonna play Barrier Stun, that's courageous, and I encourage it. I really do. If you guys don't know, I did play Barrier Stun at my very first regional. It was 9 rounds. I won 4 games, and I stuck it out to the end because all my friends were in the top tables. but that's what you do. You support your friends. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really had to say about this deck. I mean, it's cool. It's got interactions. I mean, I love the artwork. I think it's just beautiful, gorgeous artwork. The cards themselves, the physical cards, look even better than the digital, of course. I think it has a great concept. I think bringing back Ties of the Brother. I haven't seen this card in forever. To summon cards out like Barrier Statue or even like an Honest. It's just cool to see in a deck again. However, this deck just needs way too much help. I mean, this right here, these 6 cards alone are like $600 to help out a $15-$20 deck. And if a deck needs expensive cards in order to be successful, personally, I feel like it can do better. I feel like you have better options, but I don't know if that's just myself conflicted as a deck builder and also someone who just doesn't like to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on a game in general. But that's a topic for a different video. Essentially, quick wrap up, the deck can play through interruptions, not too many. It's not going to break any Dragon Link board. It can play through interruptions. It is allowing itself to play floodgates, and is a very good, consistent, controlled deck. On the con side, the strongest thing this deck can do, a lot of other decks just do naturally a lot better, and it seems to be a little subpar just by what I've been initially testing. Now, again, I might be wrong on this. I have been wrong before. I am the guy who said Drytron was gonna not be as successful as Magistus, and here we are. Drytron already got hit, so we're we're off to a great start as far as these goes. But I mean, that's what's good about this game, is that everyone has their strong opinions, but you know, that's where controversy starts, and that's what's really interesting about this game. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Leave a like if you are going to be picking up this Starry Night deck. You know, who knows, deck might be actually pretty interesting. It might actually end up doing very well down the line. Who knows? But thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more videos. I'm here 6 days a week, 10 a.m. every single day. I have been noticing something weird with my scheduling when I schedule certain videos. They're coming out a little bit later, but I will figure that out and I will get back to you on that. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will go and see y'all in the next